Hello, my name is Adam Bantner. I'm an attorney here in the Tampa Bay area, practicing primarily in criminal defense. I'm also the president of the Hillsborough County Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers. But today I'm here to interview my good friend Gary Dolgin, who is a candidate for circuit court judge. So Gary, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, thank you, Adam, for having me today. I am a lifetime Tampa resident since two, so that probably qualifies for lifetime. Went to Gorey, Wilson, and Plant. Been married for 25 years to my wife, Wendy. We have three children, 18-year-old twins and an 11-year-old son. And I've been practicing law for 26 years. I started out my career as a prosecutor, then I was a public defender, and for the past 23 years I've run my own successful private law practice, and I'm a board-certified expert in marital and family law. I'm one of only 26 lawyers in this county who has achieved board certification, and board-certified lawyers have met the Florida Bar's highest standards for special knowledge, skills, and proficiency in various areas of the law and professionalism. And the Florida Supreme Court has approved the board certification program as a way for consumers to make informed decisions in the hiring of a lawyer. And only board-certified lawyers can refer to themselves as specialists or experts. So I think that's important in a campaign for circuit court judge because I am the only candidate in my race who has achieved board certification in any area of the law. And one of the things that I would like to do is to serve on the family law bench. That is my first choice as to where I would serve, because it is the most important division in the courthouse, because the average citizen has their most contact with the family court. And we do not have a judge on the bench right now in family law who is a board certified expert in marital and family law, and I feel that that's a void that I could fill.
Now Gary, after 26 years in private practice, or at least 23 years owning your own firm, why is now the right time for you to be running for judge? Why do you want to be judge?
I have wanted to be a judge as a lifetime goal, and it's been my career dream, and I feel that everybody should give back to their community, and I believe this is the best way that I can do that. As I said before, I have a passion for family law, and do you want judges on the family law bench who are making those difficult decisions about what's going to happen to your children? Do you want that judge to be an expert who has passion for this area of the law, or a judge who's not an expert? I do also want to stress that I've had experience in every division of the courthouse and of the circuit court, having been a former prosecutor and a public defender. So I've got experience on both sides of the criminal courtroom, which I think is an important quality for a judge to have.
And you kind of beat me to my next question there a little bit. I was going to ask you, outside of your expertise in family law, you mentioned you have some criminal experience as well. What other areas have you practiced in, and what's your experience there?
Well, my experience is primarily in family and criminal, but I have, as part of my responsibilities in the public defender's office, I was assigned to the juvenile division, and I had extensive experience in juvenile court. That was one of the divisions that I've been in dependency court in the past. I was in the court-appointed program for dependency cases, and I have had experience in each of the divisions of the courthouse, but primarily it's family and criminal, and I'm also a Supreme Court certified mediator in the area of family law, and I am one of the authors of the Florida Bar's Dissolution of Marriage Handbook, one of the chapters dealing with temporary relief in family law cases, and I've been the author on that going on about 12 years, and it is a book that is relied upon by family law judges and attorneys across the state.
Now, if you are fortunate enough to be elected by your community to the bench, is there an overall judicial philosophy that you would bring with you to that role?
Well, I think people need to know when they come into a courtroom that they're seeing a fair and impartial judge. The judiciary is an independent branch of government. It's different than the legislative and the executive branch. And, you know, people are voting for their members of Congress. They're voting for president this year, and they're voting among partisan lines, and those are partisan offices. The judicial branch in the judiciary in Florida, judges run as nonpartisans. We're not sitting on the bench and ruling for someone because we favor a cause or this political party or that political party. And people need to know that they're going to have a fair and impartial, neutral judge listening to both sides very carefully. And I believe the experience that I have over the 26 years and having run my own practice, I have helped everyday people going through the toughest times in their lives. Either they're going through a divorce or they've been arrested. Other than death, I can't think of anything worse than going through a divorce or getting arrested for a crime. And I've helped everyday people get through those situations. And I think that experience will help me serve the public as a judge.
Okay. Now, in crafting that judicial philosophy, I kind of got a two-part question for you. Now, who would you consider your judicial role models, and who would you consider kind of your personal role models in your life that have perhaps helped shape that philosophy?
Well, I'd like to talk about a judge locally who is no longer with us, Judge Robert Sims. And he actually was the first judge that I ever had a family law case in front of. And he made you feel comfortable as an attorney appearing in his courtroom. He was always willing to go out of the way to give advice to a young attorney, and that's something that I think is really important for a judge to do, to give advice to young attorneys and encourage them, to encourage professionalism and ethics in attorneys, and also in their demeanor as far as the litigants that come before them. Litigants are in a stressful situation, especially in a divorce situation, and I think it's important for a good judge puts them at ease. Talking about a judge on a national level, when I was in college, I had the opportunity to interview Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, and she had just recently been appointed first woman to the United States Supreme Court. And I met her at Emory University, where I went undergrad, and she invited me to Washington, and I met with her in her chambers, and I interviewed her for the school paper. And she told me a story about how when she got out of law school, even though she graduated second in her class, she could not get a job because she was a woman. And Chief Justice Rehnquist graduated first in the class, and I believe this was from Stanford University Law School. I mean, so if you graduate second there and not be able to get a job. But she jokingly said to me, "I bet you some of those firms that didn't hire me are sorry now." So that was she was a great person to be able to have interaction with, and gave me some inspiration and encouragement as far as pursuing my legal career, and also my desire to be a judge down in the future.
And in your personal life?
In my personal life, well, we talked about local Judge Sims here, but I've had the opportunity to see many other circuit court judges and county court judges in my 26 years of practice, and I've learned a lot from watching them. And I just think judges have the opportunity to serve as role models to lawyers, and it makes our justice system a better place when you have a judge who is like that. Judge Sims encouraged me to run for judge, and he would say to me, "Don't let anybody tell you that a judicial seat belongs to them. The judicial seats belong to the people, and if you are on the bench as a judge, you always need to remember that."
Okay. Now, I think it's also important that the voters know a little bit about you in your personal life and your personal accomplishments. Certainly, we're already aware of your legal accomplishments, your 26 years of practice, achieving board certification, and the hundreds, if not thousands, of clients that you've helped over your career. Now, what would you consider perhaps the greatest achievement in your personal life outside the realm of the legal field?
My greatest personal achievement is asking my wife to marry me and her saying yes. When I first met my wife, Wendy, at a party, one of my law school classmates had introduced me to her, and she was actually at the party with my friend's brother. And so I asked her out, and she said no, she was seeing someone. I asked her out a few days later on the phone, and she had given me her business card, and the line of work she did, I ended up giving her business card to my dad. She ended up writing a letter. She was trying to get some business from my dad. My dad came home and said, "She's paying more attention to me than you." But I didn't give up, and sure enough, a few weeks later, she called me up and said, "I'm no longer seeing the guy I was dating. Is your offer still available?" So July 4th, 1989 was our first date. We have been blessed with twins, a boy and a girl, Corey and Mallory, and they're graduating high school, doing very, very well. And then we have an 11-year-old son, Ari, who's going to turn 12 actually tomorrow. Big baseball Rays fan, just hit his first home run over the wall a few weeks ago. I'm very proud of my family. And of course, I can't forget our beautiful dog, Chester, who is a rescue dog, and we've always just the cutest, most loving Pekingese dog, and we've always wondered who could give up this dog. So that's a little about my family life, but I'm very proud. I've lived in Tampa since I was 2. My dad, who has passed away, Dr. David Dolgin, was Tampa's first periodontist. My mother is still alive and well, and she's a retired teacher from Plant High School and a professor from the University of Tampa. My brother, Dr. Sanford Dolgin, is an ear, nose, and throat surgeon here in Tampa, and my sister, Sarah Kaplan, is an engineer with Microlumen. So it's wonderful to have the entire family in Tampa. Everybody has children. There's a total of 8 grandchildren, and all of the cousins get along with each other. It's just Tampa's just a wonderful place to raise a family, and I just feel fortunate to have all of my family here.
Okay. Now switching back a little bit to, I guess, the legal realm here. Judges today handle massive dockets, sometimes easily over $300, $400, $500 cases, or 500 cases that they're handling at any one time. How would you handle the massive dockets that are passing through the courts here in Hillsborough County?
Well, you have to just be disciplined and efficient. And having had the experience both in the public sector and having to run my own office as a solo practitioner, as you know, Adam, if you're a solo practitioner, you do everything in your office with the help of an excellent legal assistant that I have, Laurel, who's just excellent. I mean, you run the business side, you have to keep track of all your files and stay on top of deadlines. But having that experience, I think, helps you in running a courtroom. The other thing is, when you have the legal experience, you've seen these matters before. Like for example, in family law, if you are a judge who's never practiced family law in private practice, you may not be able to make a decision right away because you're not sure what the law is on a particular issue. But if you've dealt with these issues every day for over 2 decades and you're an expert in that area of the law, you can make that decision and resolve that dispute quickly for the litigants, because people who are going through a divorce want to move on with their lives and they want to get their matters resolved. And having an experienced judge who's an expert in that area is going to be beneficial to moving cases efficiently through the court system.
All right, and as we're kind of getting to the end of this interview, this is kind of the stereotypical job interview question. What would you consider some of your greatest strengths, or maybe your most profound weaknesses, if you were to do an honest self-evaluation of yourself?
Well, I think my greatest strengths are my discipline and hard work and studying, doing the legal research that is necessary. One of my friends, a former judge, was joking a few months ago at a reception that he once came into Starbucks on a Saturday at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and he saw that I was doing some legal research, just staying abreast of the law. And he said he didn't know that many lawyers that had the dedication to do that. And so that's, I believe, one of my greatest strengths. As far as a weakness, well, I'm sure that my wife would tell you that I've got some clothes on the floor right now, and I'm not always the neatest person around the house, but I try my best. And the last time she was out of town, I spent hours cleaning up the house and making it so perfect that I even took a picture of it so I could remind her of it the next time that the house was messy.
Now, Gary, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, but I just want to give you one last opportunity to communicate anything that we haven't talked about out to the voters out there that you think it's important for them to know about you and or your candidacy.
When I meet voters out on the campaign trail, they say, "It's nice to meet you because I don't know who any of the judicial candidates are." Judicial candidates are on the bottom of the ballot. We don't get a whole lot of publicity. But when you think about it, you are giving the authority to a judge to make life and death decisions. What other elected official on your ballot gets that type of awesome authority and responsibility? So you need to do the research and be careful on who you vote for, and let your friends know. I asked for your vote on August 30th, 2016. That's the date of the primary elections. And in my particular race, the top two finishers, if someone doesn't get more than 50% of the vote, will advance to the November general election. Please get out there and vote. If you have any other questions about my candidacy, feel free to give me a call at my office, area code 813-223-3200, and I'll be happy to answer them. I appreciate everyone's time and listening to this today. And again, please vote for Gary Dolgin for Circuit Court Judge, Group 24, a county-wide race open to all Hillsborough County voters and a nonpartisan race so everyone can vote in the election.
Thank you again, Gary, and I wish you the best of luck in your campaign.
Thank you, Adam.